Well, hello everybody. Welcome back to our Cultinclub program. This is Neus Flores speaking from Barcelona for the expat community that lives around here. As you know, I'm an intercultural communicator, which means that I like communicating with different cultures. And I'm bringing you the latest news about culture in the world, starting with Cannes Film Festival summary, where I had the chance to present my documentary, Barnaband, and the original soundtrack is today with us, with all the guests that we're going to be interviewing. Starting with Ruby Bukavu, coming from Australia. She is a writer, and she was in Cannes as a journalist and author. So welcome, Ruby. How are you today?
Hola, hola. Yes,
Hola, Ruby.
tal. Bien, muy bien.
Nice to have
Yes,
you here with us again.
I, yeah, it was nice to see you briefly, not long enough, but at least I saw you for Shuya at Cannes
Yes,
in the
exactly.
past.
Yeah. It's always
Mhm.
fun meeting you, well, everybody, but especially you, we collaborate a lot, which, is a nice teamwork that we do. And
Mhm.
maybe you could explain a little what you did this year in Cannes?
Okay, so this year at the it was 78th uh, International Festival de Cannes. I was working for Ruby TV,
Yeah.
my channel, but also for my new channel, The Paris Plan, which is the channel I do with the director Clément Revoussin on YouTube at The Paris Plan, and it's all about Paris culture and travel, but also we go outside of Paris. So we did a Cannes Festival de Cannes special.
Yeah.
So we we're doing stories and reels and working across not just French artists or people based in France, but it was a special where we talked to everyone. We did something on Mission Impossible. We did something about the Spanish film that I'll talk to you about in the Mediterranean. Mainly, I spoke, of course, to the Australians. Kate Blanchett was there, talking about displaced filmmakers. Dian Beebe, who's the Australian cinematographer, won an award for a kind of a lifetime achievement.
Yes.
Who is, of course, the cinematographer who did Memoirs of a Geisha, Chicago,
Mm.
Collateral.
All
So
right.
I guess probably my favorite thing from the festival was being able to interview Dean Beebe, and we're doing the edit in the next few days. And he's such a lovely, humble person, one of the best filmmakers in the world, um, but very articulate, very soft, very kind. So that was probably my highlight, even though there were many, many other highlights.
Cool. So you explained a little what the Paris plan is about, but how can people join in? Is it a website or do you have a program that they can follow?
Yes, so there's around two videos up each week, a cultural agenda and a Zoom on a restaurant or a person or a place or quartier, and it's on YouTube at the Paris Plan. And TikTok, we've just started at the Paris Plan, and then Instagram and Facebook is at the Paris Plan France
All
with all the bits
right.
and pieces.
Oh,
Yeah, and I should mention the Spanish film because
mm-hmm.
I don't think
All right.
you didn't get to see it, did you, this time?
Which one?
Sirat.
Oh,
Sirat.
I was there, but right at the end, so
Yes.
I missed most of it. Yes,
So people should definitely
unluckily.
go see Sirat. I don't. you'll have to check when it comes out in Spain
Hmm.
because it's you pronounce his name better than me. Olivia
Yeah,
Lash.
Oliver Lashe, Lashe. I'm
Yes.
actually going to see that next week in
Yes.
Sumzec. It's a very cool cinema here, a cooperative of cinema makers and cinephiles, and they're doing it next week here in
Yes,
Barcelona.
because it won the jury prize.
Hmm.
I was lucky enough to get red carpet tickets and sit 2 rows behind the cast and crew.
No way! You're so
Mm.
lucky. You were on the red carpet last year. Did you have the chance to go to the red carpet again?
Yes, I think I did 4 red carpets this year,
Oh my
but that
God.
has to be. I did Mission Impossible. There was the Italian film. There was the Jennifer Lawrence film. Berlin Ramsey. And yeah. So my favorite was Sirat because it's just briefly. It's about a Spanish man that goes to the Sahara to look for his daughter who's gone missing She's at a rave party and he's worried about her, so he takes his little son and they go to the Sahara to look and get the daughter back.
Yeah. And
They said there's enough.
Sergi Lopez is the main character, and he's super well known in France. He's and of course Spain, but he's an international, one of our best.
Yeah, but the film is a masterpiece. Some people might find it hard to understand because it's so metaphysical, but it is very, very powerful. There's an interview with the actress on the Paris Plan people can watch on our YouTube, and it's about Sirat. Apparently, means it's the bridge between hell and heaven, and
somewhere in the limbo there.
Yeah, and talk about navigating life. And what I like the most about it is that it's really intense, but there's no villains. Nobody's the bad guy. It's all people trying to look after themselves and building community despite the harsh environment. And it's a very powerful film. You end up in a place you would never think you were going to, but he's such a master director, and the rhythm of the film and the everyone that worked on the film, the editing, the music, the acting, the everything, the camera work, the design was so brilliant that we are in the journey with the lead character from the beginning to end, and we're taking on the ride with him. And at the end, we're like, oh, what just happened?
Yeah,
but it's very, very powerful and very topical film. So I would really encourage people to go and see that film. And the other film I really liked was the Iranian film, not the one that won, that Mother and Child. And it's a very, very powerful film that I'll send you the link of, because I saw that everyone was at the closing ceremony. So we went to see this film. I cried for 2 hours. But good cry, cathartic cry.
Of course, yes. It's always good when you're there in Cannes. It's not only you having the feeling, it's everybody sharing the feeling in the audience, right?
Yeah.
It's cool.
And yes, and even Christopher McQuarrie, who the director of Mission Impossible, at the end he spoke and he said, "Why we do this? It's to have a big screen experience.
Definitely.
It's fine for everyone to be at home and zapping through their things and looking by yourself, but this is to have a shared experience with people that you think you may have nothing to do with, but then you find yourself crying or laughing at the same time, and suddenly you feel a bond that you didn't think you would have had when the lights go down."
Indeed, yes. And of all the celebrities that you could see, watch, or cheer, or just meet, who do you prefer?
Well, I had the chance to shake hands with Kate Blanchett.
Wow, that's
she's
big
doing
words.
she's doing it. And we actually posted the whole of the press conference on the Paris Plan YouTube, so people can watch it. She is involved in a film fund where Rotterdam Film Festival supporting displaced film directors, and Uniqlo, the Japanese clothing brand, have given 100,000 euros to help 6 displaced directors finish their films for the 2026 film festival in Rotterdam. Managing director is the Australian Claire Stewart. So they did a press conference on that. So that's a really important topic, and she's so articulate and Kate Blanchett. So I need to say anything.
Indeed, she's a master woman. I really love her. Okay,
yeah,
so
time is
oh, sorry.
I have to also say Dean Beebe, who I interviewed. He's so brilliant, and that was it was a real privilege and thrill to be able to sit down and talk to him for half an hour, just the two of us. So
very nice. Cool. So, time is running so fast. Please tell us your next projects and where people can see you next.
Well, this is my book on Barcelona, as you know, the Art Lovers Barcelona that you're in.
Yeah, thank you. That was so kind.
So I'll be coming down to Barcelona. People can buy this all over the world online. So if you're planning a trip to Barcelona, I would highly recommend it, because you can get to meet all the artists and people like Nurse and find out the shortcuts how to have the best time of your life in Barcelona. Yeah. So I'll be coming down to Barcelona, hopefully, to do a promo for that before I'm doing my next book. Also, my new project is Claquettes Sans Frontières, Tap Dancers Without Borders.
All right. So you will be tap dancing all over the world?
Yes,
Oh, wow.
and other tap dancers also. A bit more immediately, we've got on the 15th of June, we have the next Paris Tap Jam. So people can come to Montmartre and learn how to tap dance, beginner, intermediate, advanced, and then come and watch the tap dance jam afterwards. So that's on the 15th of June, and I will put that on our Facebook, Ruby TV.
Of
And
course, yes. Put it in the Paris plan, right?
and the Paris Pan, we'll mention it. Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
But also on Ruby TV and Paris Tap Crew on Instagram.
All right, cool. Well, thank you very much, Ruby. As always, we can only wait for you here with open arms and just greet you as always. You're a star already. So thank you for your time and see you soon.
Hasta pronto.
Hasta pronto. Bye.
We are storytellers as a species.
Bonjour and bienvenue to the Paris Plan Festival de Cannes special.
Welcome to Cannes. Santé.
Opening ceremony is about to start.
So exciting that you're here getting an award for cinematography in the country that created cinema. How do you feel?
Both humbled and excited.
Why do you tell stories?
What we're trying to do is ultimately communicate our emotions, to express the human condition.
And I do think that audiences are in for a really exciting ride.
Because there's so many aspects to storytelling or filmmaking that I think we need to be sometimes just a little bold about what we think we can do.
So it's the dog that has won the Palm Dog. Trying to have a quick interview. Such a star, the paparazzi are going crazy. Everyone wants a piece of the action. I just want to cuddle.
C'est le passage de l'âme pure à un autre monde.
Kate Blanchett, Uniqlo and the Rotterdam Film Festival as taking a stand to support displaced film directors.
Human displacement is one of the great crises and challenges facing us as a species.
At the very least, we can be kind to each other. Films, stories, I think we're looking for a message like that.
Thank you guys, and thank you for waiting. And we continue with some music from our documentary Barnabands. Thank you for staying with us. Let's listen to some music. Well, thank you for this little piece of music. And now we go forward to our second interview, Marco Avenata. Marco Barada. Hello, Marco. How are you?
How are you? Really good, thank you. It's funny because the person you were talking previously was talking about tap dancing.
Indeed,
and I'm
yes.
also a tap dancer myself.
All right. Okay. Can you explain a little bit more, develop on that?
Well, it's just I'm just a beginner, but I've always had a dream of tap dancing and to just go there and shake your body and make music with your feet. I think that's really, really, really cool.
It is definitely. And Ruby, she's a super teacher. So if you want to learn more, she's always in Paris tap dancing around.
All right.
Well, but we came here to talk about you and Cannes. So I was so lucky to meet you there. And you are a professional that's been in Cannes for over the years. So maybe you can tell us a little bit what your work, what is it, what you do there, and Yeah, and how it developed over the years.
All right. So my job right now is as a photographer, but I started as a as a cameraman. I was working for FA Agency, which is a Spanish news agency,
All right.
state owned. And my job was to and is to shoot the actors and actresses and models, etc., walking the red carpet and walking up the steps of the Cannes Film Festival's red carpet.
All right.
So it's a very cool job because you get to see all the people from TV series and films, and it's really cool because you get to see like the beginning of the path of a lot of movies, especially in the last few years. The winner in Cannes usually gets to the Oscars, and you get to hear about them for like a whole year, all award season. So it's really like you are like a first person.
Yeah, to meet them
Wit-
there, and you have seen so many. That's the thing that we want to know exactly. Which ones are the ones that you like the most?
Oof, the ones I like the most. There's people which have an aura,
Mm-hmm.
and others that just don't. For instance, first time I saw Anne Hathaway, I
Okay.
was stunned. I mean, I'm not a big fan of Anne Hathaway. She's nice, she's cool, but when I saw her in person, it was just like a princess.
Yeah.
She was like walking on thin air. She was like the aura, the presence. She doesn't had to do anything special. Just be present. The same happens with Kate Blanchett. Last
Mm.
year, I saw her for a festival after festival. I saw her at Cannes, at Venice, at San Sebastian Film Festival, everywhere. But she's so effortlessly photogenic. It's not beautiful; it's photogenic.
Mm.
The camera loves her.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Brad Pitt.
Mm-hmm.
I have to tell you, I was in the red carpet of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, the film by Quentin Tarantino,
Yeah.
and I had in front of me Quentin Tarantino, Margot Robbie, Brad Pitt, and Leonardo DiCaprio,
Wow.
and I couldn't take my eyes off Brad Pitt.
Really?
It was just amazing the way he looks. He looks at you, and you just melt. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, but you had like the four favorite artists all time, right? Right in front of you. So
Yeah,
how
it
can you
was great.
choose?
It was incredible.
How do you shoot with your camera? How do you choose where to? And because it's so
You
instant and immediate, you might miss something. So you don't have time to
you
focus on each.
cannot choose.
You can't choose.
You cannot choose. You just have to shoot everything all you can, and then you'll think about it later, because you have it in front of you for like tops 20-30 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
It's unusual. For instance, I was in the red carpet of the Venice Film Festival of the film Wolves with George Clooney and Brad Pitt,
Mm-hmm.
and they
And Brad
were
Pitt was there again. So between George
yes,
Clooney and Brad Pitt, who do you choose?
Brad Pitt. Brad
All
Pitt.
right. It's always him.
No way I'm choosing George Clooney. No offense to him. He's very
Okay.
cool too.
Yeah.
But the thing is, they were like playing around. There was so much complicity between them. They was like those film bros, and but the thing is, it was they kept moving around. It was very difficult for photo to us to take pictures. It was great for video because they were very dynamic, but for us, it was really really difficult. And
Mm.
they were there for like 5-10 minutes, but it was a struggle for real. But then you have people like Richard Gere.
Okay.
He loves spending time with photographers, so
Yeah.
he can be there for 15 minutes. He stays with one group, then another, then he goes, sits with you, shakes your hand, takes your camera, and takes a picture of himself with your camera.
Yeah,
So
I know. I've seen
he,
him in the BCM Film Fest. They did it for San Jordi in April. And Richard Gere was here with his girlfriend, and of course he came and did exactly what you're saying. He just welcomed everybody. He said hi. He was patient with the cameras. He was staying still and posing. So such a nice man. Incredible.
Yeah. For us professionals, it's like some kind of recognition of our presence there, because people see red carpet pictures, and I think the general public doesn't stop to think about who actually took them. But these
Yeah.
pictures are taken by us, by professionals. So having him coming to us, like it's a sort of saying thanks in a way, and for us it's really, really
Yeah.
we are thankful for this.
Yeah, you appreciate that he comes around. It's yeah, it's
Absolutely.
showing that your work matters. But in Cannes, this is really very straightforward because they always show you taking pictures to the celebrities. You can see all the photographers in line, and this is super exciting for me and for the people who love cinema to see, because it means that you're privileged too, because I was there as press, but if you're not a photographer, even if you're press, you're not allowed to go into the red carpet. So your position as a photographer is super privileged in Cannes.
I've see when I started doing it, I wasn't aware of this. I was there just to do my job. I think, well, that's cool to see them, but okay. But as year passed by, I realized I am one of the only, let's say, 40, 50 people in the world that have access to this here right now. So that's a huge privilege. And also, it kind of hooks you. So that's why I
Definitely.
keep there, because that feeling, it's really powerful. It's
Yeah,
amazing.
it's incomparable anywhere in the world. Any other festivals, they have they have the movies, they have the audience, and they have the professionals, but Cannes has the mood, I think. And
Yeah.
that's what's totally different, the mood in there. And
But you,
yeah, go ahead.
no, go ahead. The thing is, people talk about the mood and the glamour of places such as Cannes, and working there, I realized that that doesn't just exist like this out of thin air, but people like me are responsible to creating this image of glamour, of exclusivity, of I don't know, of uniqueness. I mean, I, as a creator of the images, I am part of a huge apparatus that shapes what society thinks about these kind of events, these kind of people. So realizing this was a click in my head, because it's like, whoa, I'm part of creating this mythology.
Oh, definitely, yeah, 100%. Because what people knows about these places are the pictures and the videos, because they couldn't go there. But once you get there, then you can compare. And all festivals are really professional. As I said, they all have everything. But what's special about Cannes, I think, is the good mood everybody has. It's very incredible for me. And I wanted to ask you, if people want to see the pictures that you took of the celebrities, where can they see it? Do you have like a website or an
Yeah,
Instagram?
you can go ahead. I have a website. It's www.marcobarada with a barada.com. Okay. And then
Okay.
you can go ahead and also look for me on Instagram. It's also at Marco Barada. Also, it's simple as that.
Okay.
And you can see there pictures from Cannes, from mostly celebrity pictures from other festivals too, but mainly Cannes, Venice, some in Spain, San Sebastian.
All right.
Yeah.
And Locarno is coming now. Will you go?
I've never been there. No, I haven't.
Oh.
You see, for Locarno, it's a very art house festival, and it's not really shiny in terms of stars, of celebrities. You know, it's not. It's like the top. It's the Cannes Film Festival. Then you have Venice, and in Europe, I guess you could have like maybe Berlinale, but
San Sebastian.
there's a lot of San Sebastian too, but it's a step below that.
Okay.
But most of the photographers who do this line of work just go to Cannes and Venice, because not even Berlinale, it's not that
glamorous
rich in terms of celebrities, of talent. There are not so much talent coming to February to a February snowed and cold Berlin,
Well, I must say Locarno is really worth it. It's in Ticino area in Switzerland. The landscape is so beautiful, and then you get to, in the end, some of the really international stars there. When I was, I think it was 2019. Actually, Albert Serra, our director, was interviewing John Waters, an American director. Do you know John Waters?
Yeah, of course. I've never seen him yet.
And so having the two together, just chit-chatting on an interview, that was incredible for me.
Yeah.
And I couldn't have seen that anywhere else than Locarno, So I think
I'm looking forward to go to this year's Venice Film Festival, because the Golden Lion, the honorary Golden Lion, is going to be awarded to one of my all-time cinema idols, which is Werner Herzog.
All right,
and
big name.
For me to have the chance to meet him, to see him, and to take his picture, I'm really looking forward to it, and for me, it's going to be a dream come true.
All right, so we wish you good luck. Thank you very much for connecting today. I'm super happy to have met you, and I hope I meet you very soon again. Thank you very much, Marco, for having me.
Thank you, Neus. It was really good to meet you too, and good luck.
Thank you. Bye, Madrid.
Bye-bye.
All right. Well, thank you for staying with us. We'll let you listen to another piece of music from my documentary, Barnabans. Thank you for staying. And thank you for staying with us and listening to this piece of music. Now we continue with our interviews, this time with Maria. Maria is a Colombian director, and she did one of the movies that were shown at the Ritz-Carlton because they were immersive. And Cannes had this section of immersive cinema where you can just go inside and watch the movie all around you.
Welcome to Filhos do Vento, Rapa, the immersive experience, an unprecedented cinematic journey into the heart of one of Spain's oldest traditions, the Rapa das Pestas. This immersive experience places you at the center of the action, where humans and wild horses collide in a ritual of strength and survival. Through cutting-edge 8K visuals and advanced spatialized audio, audiences don't just watch the Rapa, they live it. Before the rapa begins, the people of Sabucedo spend hours, sometimes days, tracking the wild horses through the mountains. In absolute silence, they watch, wait, and move as one with the land. In this immersive experience, you step into the curro, surrounded by movement, tension, and dust rising into the air. Our 8K 360-degree visuals and binaural spatialized sound allow users to experience the rapa from multiple perspectives, making them active participants in this ancient ritual. You decide where to look, what to follow. Sounds shift as you move. Horses behind you, whispers in the crowd, multi-screen installations. Horses rush past, voices echo, tension surrounds you. This is more than a ritual. It's a tradition at risk. Wind farms reshape the landscape, threatening both the wild horses and those who protect them. More than a film, an experience. A visceral encounter with tradition, survival, and the forces that challenge them.
So hello, Maria. How are you today?
Hi, Nels. Thank you so much for having me. How are you guys doing?
Thank you for being with us and spending your time. I have seen the trailer of your movie, and it's really impacting what actually people can experience with that immersive cinema. Can you explain a little bit the difference technically, how you produce immersive cinema instead of regular?
Yeah, so basically our project, can you hear me well?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, so basically our project is called Filhos do Vento a Rapa. And then that project, I mean, we started with the idea to shoot, like a more conventional documentary style in a, traditional format, which is like 16:9. Then after like 7 years shooting, we at the fourth year, we spent like a lot of time shooting the project. And after the fourth year, we realized that it was super important to have like a extension of or like feature film translated into an immersive setup, so you can actually experience the film by yourself.
All right.
So I would say it's completely different the way how you approach like the immersive setup. Our piece was very particular because we are treating, like a 400-year-old tradition that happens. It's actually in Spain. I don't know if you're familiar with that. Rapadas Vestas, which is like in this very small town in Spain. So how you basically translate like a very ancient ritual into a more like tech and, a futuristic, more progressive setup. So we had like the two layers, which is one, how you produce like an entire feature film and the idea to document this tradition, and then how you translate that with technology so people can live it in the first person. So we have like the two components, which I think added like more complexity and, more like richness to the experience. So as soon as you enter our installation at the Cultinclub Cannes, you would see like we mapped like the 3 walls, 270 projection mapping, and then you could smell, So we had like sand machines, so you could smell, the Galician forest, you could smell like fresh grass cut, and then you could experience also the imagery and then all the super embracing images around you that would relate to the scent. We also had like another amazing component to our installation, which was like headphones, like ambisonic sound. So we had like the privilege to capture and deconstruct the sound, so you could have like the entire experience super immersive and basically track your movement as soon as you were like roaming and navigating the space. So you could smell, you could listen, you could watch, and then you could basically live the experience in the first person and be an active participant instead of like an observant.
Yeah, well, this is very interesting because it was always something that I was missing from cinema, that you could actually smell and just have a different sense, not only the audiovisual side of it, but an additional experience to it. And this immersive cinema allows you to do that, right?
Yeah, so basically it's like an extension of cinema, I would say, like a new media that allows you to tell stories in a different way and in more. I think you could have like a very individual experience of what you're seeing and also have like the collective idea of the experience, because it's like a very immersive, very multisensory, because I think it's an experience that activates all the senses, and how you can bring the outdoors indoors and be basically experiencing what the people in Sauce, in a very remote village in the northern part of Spain, but you can live it in France, and then you can just follow the story and be active participant of like the narrative that you're watching.
Definitely. And how do you see the Ritz-Carlton venue adjusting to this new kind of cinema? Do you think it was comfortable to be there?
I think it was actually the first year with like the festival using that venue. I think they did their best to use the space. They had like to accommodate night exhibitions. I think actually the one we did, it was I think the largest one.
Okay.
So I feel the only thing that I would say is like they should try to create. It will be ideal to have like black boxes for each individual project, so you can have the sound contained, like the smell contained, and have like more like an individual experience instead of like maybe bleeding some sound and more like the technical aspects. But I think for now, I think it's working great. Is in the city, well located, so I think it really linked with the entire like dynamic that is actually happening with the other movies and the festival itself.
Yeah, it was actually very easy and straightforward to just go there, Ritz-Carlton at La Croisette, so you can you can be at the beach and then just watch a movie, immerse yourself in the Rapa das Vestas. So how does a Colombian woman like you get interested in this Galician tradition?
Yeah, so basically I felt it like very close to Colombia actually, because it's like very nature driven. It explores things like like the relationship between humans, like nature, like the clash between tradition and progress, which is something that I think we can all relate. So I was thinking, like how in a very local story we can treat universal matters and just have stories that are relatable to not only people from Sauce or from Galicia, but from all over the world. So when Bryce, the director, shared the story with me, 7 years ago, so I was like, okay, let's go. Let's bring like a skeleton crew and let's see what we find, and then if we go there and we see that there is like a story beyond the folklore, and just whatever like the media captures, I think let's go with it. And then we went there and then we started to see like an entire world, behind all those last wild horses, and also, the social dynamic. So I felt that that was like a very powerful story to tell. Also, Rapa is like visually very, very intense and visceral. So I was like, this is something that we have to, like start developing. And then actually we have like our feature film that is like in the progress. We pitched it on April for hot dogs.
Okay.
And it was super well received. And then, so Si Yo Momento a Rapa, the immersive experience is part of like a big pack, like a huge project that includes like a series, like a feature, and then the immersive, which is a more poetic, I would say, and more abstract way, in a way that you can just relate in a more like a romantic idea of like what is like experiencing and watching a film.
Excellent. And so this experience is going to be in different platforms, I guess, and television, cinemas.
I would say our feature film, once we finish with it, because for now, we are prioritizing a little bit, more like the immersive experience. you are going to be able to watch it like in different like platforms. But for the immersive experience, you need like a specific setup because you are like incorporating like an extra layer, which is like the space, right? So you're like basically creating a presence in addition to the narrative itself that a film actually, translates. So we need like a physical space. So we actually met with amazing people at the Cannes Festival who are interested to have our piece, in Asia, in Korea, in Milan. So we're like trying to explore ways how to showcase the piece there, and also, keep with the festival, run, and of course bring it to Spain, because how not, I think is something that people from Spain need to watch.
Yeah, exactly. That was my next
And
question.
experience.
So when are you bringing it over to us? That was.
Yeah, we're exploring things and spaces, probably in Madrid, Barcelona, and of course to Galicia, because this is a piece that is like, we actually brought 2 people from Saucedo to watch the piece, and they were up, from the town, and they were completely, without words. And we needed that because it's in a way, we are like retrieving and getting back to the community. So for us, it was important for them to approve and feel comfortable with how we are like, translating their own story into these more like modern and progressive setup. So so ideally we find a space, and we have like some options already. So I'll get back to you, of course, with the updates
definitely,
on that.
please. And then you're doing a great job in putting Galicia on the map internationally. So this is not only you, also Oliver Lasche, our film director, who's a winner.
Amazing.
And,
it's amazing.
I know. And so Galicians should be happy.
I think this year Spain was super powerful, even,
Yes.
like with Carla, but I think Oliver Lache, like a Galician, director, Bryce, our director, is also from Galicia. So I think Galician people are like this year very proud of like, their people and the presence in the festival.
Yeah, I'm sure. So what if it took you 7 years for this project? Are you starting a new project again, or you leave it here?
So basically, I think we already started like, 3 more projects. One is like in Morocco about these, tribes in the northern part of like Morocco that gather and they compete, bareback before for a woman. The winner would win a woman, and which was like, for this time is like crazy to think about those ideas in the past.
We still trophies.
Few years ago, exactly how. And then few years ago, a woman started to compete with them. So it's like 200 men, 1 woman. And then, of course, like the trophy is now different. So this woman is like divorced. She runs her own team. So it's like a very beautiful story of how, like the role of the women in current society still. So I think that's one of our projects in Morocco. And then we're developing another one in Colombia, because I think we have to do something in Colombia. I'm from Colombia and how not. And and a few others that in Galicia too, but we will update on that.
All right, excellent. Well, thank you so much for being here with us today. Time is flying and we have other contents in the program, but I feel so grateful to have you today here with us. We've been chatting on email, and always putting a face to email is the best.
Yeah, it's hard. But thank you for having me, and then a great program that you have. So thanks for having me again.
Thank you very much. We'll see you soon when you come in Barcelona. Let me know, please.
Definitely.
All right.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Well, guys, thank you for staying with us. And we let you see a little video about Carla Simón and her talks in Women in Motion in Cannes.
For me, Galicia is kind of like a magical or a spiritual place, because I know that my parents had a love story there, and actually my father was from there. My father's family is still living there, So it was special also because I was kind of from like shooting 2 films in the like rural countryside in Cannes, and suddenly shooting in the sea. That also has this connotation of like freedom, and my father used to sail, so I have many pictures of them sailing. So it was very nice to go back there. And at the end, places stay, people pass, and if you want to connect with someone that is not here anymore, I think that place is a good way, you know? Even if it's frustrating as well, because you go back and you say, I don't know if they were here or there, but anyway, this was the landscape of the story, and my mom wrote all these letters to her friends from Vigo, and these letters that I took into a diary for the film, for me were so important. The way she describes, you know, the landscape, and the way she describes also their way of living, you know, like that has to do with the freedom of the 80s and like going day by day, not thinking much about the future and experimenting, and you know. So I learned so much through these letters that she wrote from there as well. Told me clear things, no? And I had to kind of almost invent a story for them, no? And the film is about that, about the power of cinema to kind of create the images that we don't have. No? So somehow, yes, the fact that you know that we are there with something so personal and people can connect in ways, it's very special.
Well, thank you everybody for being here with us at Cultinclub, direct and live this year from Cannes. We are so lucky to have here with us Myron Ashkensky. I really can't pronounce that. Can you please help me?
Yes, so I will pronounce it correctly. It's Myron Ashkenazi, or if you would say it in Europe, it's more Miron Ashkenazi.
Okay, Miron Ashkenazi. Could you please tell us a little bit about your filming and the story of your horror films and everything you did earlier?
Everything I did earlier. Well, I start to more doing like, I like to do like sort of mind twists, short films, you know, you think what's going on and you have this twist and you keep on thinking about it and you need to watch it again to start to almost solve a puzzle. I like those little sort of puzzle movies.
Sure. And when do you decide to become a director, scriptwriter? How does it come to life?
Very early on, actually. I always like to do a lot of different things, so I felt I was getting bored if I would only do one thing. And what I loved about writing and directing, you can really create your own world, you can create your own characters, so you're really in control of everything, and I like that variety as well, so I don't get bored.
Definitely. So here at Cannes, you come as a director, and then what is the purpose? Who are you looking for? What kind of result do you expect to get?
I always have to, you know, keep myself open because there's so many activities going on and you never know who you're going to meet. So that's what I definitely learned from previous experiences. You need to be wide open, and my main thing was also finding different producers for different countries, talking to many people to see how open they are for the project, to see what kind of response they have, an emotional response. Are they getting the story? And to hopefully to connect with other people from many different countries.
Definitely, I think that's the whole purpose, right? International meetings and everything. So what's your next project that you're working on right now?
So I'm now working on a very crazy story because when one of my projects got cancelled during COVID, I felt I really want to do a project that has meaningful to me. And all of a sudden I opened my laptop and I read this one of the most spectacular rescue operations that took place in Indonesia by the British. And it was a hostage situation where in 1945 in Indonesia there were 3,500 hostages, and there were men, women, children from all different ethnicities, and they were about to get killed. And with a small group of British soldiers and a Dutch man who led this mission, they saved everyone within an hour. And only one person of the soldiers died because he sacrificed his life for the Dutchman. And it turns out that the Dutchman was my great uncle.
Oh my God, so it's a family story.
It's a very family story because I'm also finding out who this person was because I've never met him. It was always sort of a mystery in the family, and it's really like this James Bond story. So, which also makes it fascinating because, you know, we grow up as children and we love to watch those adventures movies and James Bond films, and all of a sudden you find out you have a real James Bond in your family, and you're discovering the story.
Yeah, definitely worth to tell, right?
Yes, because it's also not known at all. I mean, in Holland it's a little bit known because there were so many Dutch East Indies people in Holland. But other than that, it's hardly known in the world, and you have to tell it now, otherwise it really gets forgotten.
Yeah, definitely. Don't let good stories be forgotten, especially the family ones.
That's very true.
All right. So the outcome, are you gonna bring this movie into theaters? Is it platforms? How do you expect it to be distributed?
Yeah, it's definitely the plan. The interesting thing is, and maybe also the complicated thing is, I'm telling the story in a Russian way. So it's different perspectives of this story. So you have the Dutch perspective, the English perspective, the Indonesian perspective. So I'm trying to find really, which producers or how we best can distribute this. But I also want to do, like, for example, a VR situation of this rescue operation and a podcast and maybe a novel. So I'm gonna broadly make this. First, I'm gonna start as a feature film, as a documentary, and then a feature film, and
a novel.
Yes, novel will be nice as well, or an VR experience.
Oh,
so
wow. So many formats.
Yeah, so we can also show it in museums and very important places worldwide.
All right. Well, that sounds like a huge project.
It is. It's.
How do you get the funding? The funds, like money-wise. How do you?
We're still working on that, actually. So
Okay.
it got some little funding from the Netherlands, but I'm also very picky in a way. It's like, okay, which people are we going to use for which project, because it's different countries. So we really want to make sure that we find the right producers attached to it.
Mm-hmm. You're looking for American producers or European? Or?
It's a combination. It might be a co-production with UK and then the Netherlands and Indonesia, but it might also be that there maybe is a production company in the US that thinks it's a great, interesting story to tell, because I really want to bring it like mainstream, like, you're almost like a streaming film. It's like, wow, this is one of the greatest rescue operations. Let's watch this documentary.
Yeah, definitely. Well, thank you very much for staying with us. We now proceed to the next guest, and this is a couple partnership that are working on a documentary about wives. Let me remember the title, please.
It's called Widows of Living Husbands.
Exactly, yeah. And they are Diego Kelman and Josara
Costa.
All right, Costa.
So how would you say
Costa?
Josara Costa.
Josana Costa, okay. Thank you very much for being with us today. We met at the Cannes Docs panel, and maybe you can describe a little your documentary so that everybody knows what it's about and how it comes to be a Cannes Docs documentary.
Okay, great.
So,
Jussara Costa is from Quilombo. How would you say Quilombo do Macuco? Can you say that for us?
Isso, eu sou Jussara Costa, sou do Quilombo Macuco, que fica no Vale de Jequitinhonha, em Minas Gerais, Brasil.
Yeah, so that means she's from a Quilombo in the Jequitinhonha Valley, and in a rural area in Brazil. It's a very secluded area. And Quilombos, for the ones who don't know, it's very specific to Brazilian history. It's basically a community formed by Africans who were enslaved, and they were able to manage to escape slavery and form their own communities and resist.
Okay.
So this is what a Quilombo is, and she's from a Quilombo, and it's the story of herself and also the Quilombos. They have an expression there called Widows of Living Husbands. We didn't create the title, that's an expression that they use, and it basically means women that stay while their husband go away to work in sugarcane fields and coffee harvests. They stay up to 11 months out of the year. They come back. They stay 25 days, 1 month with the family, and then they have to leave. So the documentary is, we follow the story of 3 of her siblings and the impact that it creates in their relationships, in the family, and in the entire community of basically women, very empowered women, trying to survive and educate their kids and their community, and you know, and work for their community.
Okay, so would you say that this is a documentary made to help kids in Brazil?
Yeah, it is an impact documentary. So we have an impact plan that, first off, we want to bring awareness to the world of the situation of what's been happening. The 2 works that they go to do, which is coffee harvest and sugar in working in sugarcane fields, it's the top 2 forever since Brazil was Brazil. It's the top 2 slave-like work, slave-like labor. So we want to bring attention to the type of work they do, to the situation where they live. It's an area where it's the 3rd richest state in Brazil. However, it's one of the poorest area in Brazil as far as economically, but it's very rich in resources, in natural resources, and it's been exploited for 500 years. 85% of Brazilian lithium resources is in that region. It's just like a few hours away from, like 1.5 hours away from her Quilombo, and the investments are in $1 billion. But it's not being reversed to the population. So there's a lot of things happening there, but they don't get anything. They don't have schools.
That usually happens, right? Resources get taken away, and then people are left without.
So bring awareness. I think it's one of the steps. And then also when I was invited to direct this documentary, I realized that there was not I wanted to have everybody local working in the documentary, but I realized there was not. I couldn't hire a camera person, a sound, a sound technician, nothing, because they never were exposed to films. There's not even there's a lack of schooling. And regular education. So there's the level of illiteracy there is pretty high. So we couldn't find professionals to work in the film industry. And one of the impacts that we want to do is through culture and through art, offer education and offer other sources of income besides coffee harvest and sugarcane fields.
Definitely, yeah, because the coffee gives money, but film gives more. Probably,
yes.
Right? All right. Thank you, everybody, for staying with us. The Cultinclub radio show today with Ruby Bukavu from Australia, Marco Barada from Madrid, and Maria Fernanda from Colombia. This was a Cannes Special 2025. We hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you again very soon. Thank you very much. Bye.
no one there to keep you warm. It's no